Hey fellow Nevillers, I'm up in Seedtime and Harvest from 1956 from our main man Neville today. He opens the chapter with a Bible verse like he generally does. The chapter is all about us being privileged to choose and be selectors of the state or the portion of reality that we want to experience. And in the beginning of the lecture, he also describes how we've been placed in a garden and what we're to do in that garden. So that's where we'll start, my lovelies. I think we're on day 28, sharing a lecture of Neville's or a book or a passage and get some wisdom from Neville. So let's start this one. This one is taken from the 8th chapter of Genesis. He leads it off this way. It is a promise made to man that while the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, hot and cold, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease. We are told that man was placed in a garden. The garden was completed. Every tree was bearing fruit. Everything in the world was finished, and he was placed in the garden to dress it and to keep it. He doesn't plant it. He doesn't do a thing, but dress it and keep it. He is not called upon to make trees or to grow trees. Everything is finished. If you've been up in Neville's works before, you probably understand the concept creation is finished. And that's what he's meaning here, i.e., everything's done. Everything is there already. We just step into, move into where we want to be in creation. Let's see what else he says. Every conceivable human drama, every little plot, every little plan in the drama of life is already worked out as mere possibilities while we are not in them, but they are overpoweringly real when we are in them. So man can get in touch with that particular state of his choice, for my imagination can put me in touch inwardly with the desired state, so I am in it. If I am in it, I will realize it in my world. The states in which we find ourselves are the seed time. The harvest is simply the encountering of the events and circumstances of life. And then Neville goes on to tell us how short our memory is. He explains it this way: but when you reap misfortune, you wonder, why should it happen to me? When have I set a thing like this in motion? Haven't I given to the poor? Haven't I attended service? Haven't I prayed daily? Why should these things happen to me? But you see, my God never forgets, because he always gives the end in harmony with the origin, and you and I are selectors. We don't make, we are not creators. Creation is finished. The whole vast world of creation, as told in Ecclesiastes, I am the beginning and the end. There is nothing to come that has not been and is. So look upon creation as finished, and you and I are only selectors of that which is. Isn't that a fabulous line to be told, that you and I are selectors? We can choose what we want to experience out here in our 3D reality by going within, selecting it as a state of consciousness, clothing it in sensory vividness. That's what Neville says, which is our sight, smell, hearing, taste, inwardly. Now let's see what else he says. By selectors, I mean that you and I have the privilege. We may not exercise it, but it is our privilege to select that aspect of reality to which we will respond. And in responding to it, we bring it into existence for ourselves. Not knowing we are so privileged, we simply go through the world reflecting the circumstances of life, not realizing we have the power to create or to outpicture the circumstances of life. And then he continues and explains to us what seed time is. So now, let us now analyze what I personally mean by seed time. If everything is finished and completed, then why the promise, there shall be seed time and harvest as long as the earth remains? Now, seed time to those who are here, i.e. the people in his audience this morning, as we should really know, we are not taking it literally. Our seed time is that moment in time when you and I react to anything in this world. Here's where we have to be careful. It may be to an object, it may be to an individual, it may be to a bit of news that we have overheard, but the moment of reaction, that emotional response, is our attitude. Our attitudes are the seed times of life. And although we may not remember the seed time or the moment of response, nature never forgets. And when it suddenly appears in our world, that suddenness is only the emergence of a hidden continuity. And what he means by that, he explains it this way. It was continuous from the moment of reaction until it appeared in our world. Its appearance in the world is harvest. So you and I may harvest anything we desire, but we must first have a seed time. It must be preceded by a moment of response or an attitude. So really Neville's trying to tell us here what the seed time is, what the harvest is, and how we've done it to ourselves, because we always want to blame somebody out there. They did it, she did it, I did it, blah, blah, blah. But it's right. We did do it. We did it by a response or a reaction within ourselves to some external stimulus out there, i.e. a person, a news article, the television, the radio, friends, wherever it comes from. The moral of this chapter is really, as I perceive it, is just Neville warning us about having the right attitude and not responding to negative stuff, and staying in our wish fulfilled and remembering that this is the garden of God that we've been beautifully placed within, the Garden of Eden, all within us. And we are selectors, so be sure, just as Neville says, and I say it all too, be noble, be gentle, be a wonderful spirit, and pick the right attitude, and don't respond to any negativity. All right, my lovelies, I trust you found the video useful. Feel free to leave a comment if there's anything I can help you understand, or a certain lecture. I'll be glad to. I'll see you next time. Kisses for you, because I always blow a kiss to whoever I bump into. Thanks, guys. Bye.